Imagine a hidden legal system, operating in the shadows, where seemingly minor rules quietly, but systematically, shatter thousands of lives every single year. These aren't the dramatic legislations debated on national news. They're the silent, insidious mandates, buried deep in city codes, state statutes, and federal regulations. They linger in plain sight, slowly turning ordinary existence into a maze of devastating, unintended consequences. While major headlines grab attention, these small laws are actually breaking up families, destroying careers, and draining entire communities of hope. The real tragedy is how many people never see them coming until it's far too late. Prepare to uncover the shocking mechanisms that turn everyday life into a cycle of despair. And why true justice often hides from the spotlight. The price of freedom. Cash bail's devastation across the United States. Cash bail requirements remain one of the most quietly devastating legal traps. This system demands that individuals pay a sum of money just to avoid sitting in jail before they ever see a judge or jury. For those without deep pockets, this means days, weeks, or even months trapped behind bars. The impact is staggering. Lost jobs, broken homes, and shattered trust. Meanwhile, wealthier defendants can walk free, preparing their defense in comfort. The reality is stark. Countless lives spiral downward simply because freedom, in this system, has a chilling price tag, creating a two-tiered justice that punishes poverty. But the system has other ways of taking what's yours without a conviction. Legalized theft. The terrifying power of civil asset forfeiture. Prepare for a truly unsettling revelation. Civil asset forfeiture laws allow police to seize property suspected of being connected to a crime, without ever securing a conviction. In some states, no charges even need to be filed for officers to legally keep cash, cars, or even homes. Reports suggest innocent people often spend years and thousands in legal fees, desperately trying to get their property back. Many simply give up, because fighting the system costs more than what was initially taken. What appears on paper as a tool for fighting crime, in practice, easily becomes a mechanism for legalized theft, devastating families and stripping away hard-earned assets without due process. And what happens when judges are stripped of their power to administer true justice? Justice stripped bare. Mandatory minimum sentencings. Cruelty mandatory minimum sentencing laws represent a chilling erosion of judicial power, removing judges' ability to consider crucial context or intent. This means one mistake, like possessing even a small amount of certain substances, can automatically lock someone away for years with absolutely no chance at rehabilitation, regardless of their circumstances. The societal cost is immense. Families lose parents, children grow up with deep resentment, and entire communities pay the price in broken potential. These rigid rules may fill prisons, but they rarely fix the underlying problems that lead to crime. Once inside this system, countless individuals find escaping its grip nearly impossible, perpetuating a cycle of despair. But the system finds even more insidious ways to perpetuate poverty. The driving force of poverty. License suspensions for fines in many states. What starts as a seemingly minor infraction, an unpaid traffic ticket or court fee, can trigger an automatic driver's license suspension. The domino effect is brutal. Without a license, people cannot legally get to work, pick up their kids from school, or even run essential daily errands. Many, out of sheer necessity, end up driving anyway, risking far bigger fines, extended suspensions, or even jail time for a simple necessity. What begins as a small debt rapidly spirals into a devastating cycle of poverty and punishment. Losing the fundamental right to drive often means losing the critical chance to recover, trapping individuals in an inescapable bind. The crime of existence. Loitering and criminalizing. Imagine being arrested simply for standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. Loitering laws give police sweeping power to do just that. These vague rules are frequently used to disproportionately target the homeless, teenagers, and marginalized groups. A single arrest record for such a minor offense can instantly close doors to jobs, housing, or even educational opportunities, pushing people who are already struggling deeper into despair. Compounding this, many cities have criminalized homelessness, making basic acts of survival like sleeping in cars, pitching a tent, or resting in public spaces outright illegal. Instead of providing shelter or support, local governments often slap fines or impose jail time on people with nowhere else to go. These minor charges can snowball into a permanent criminal record, making finding work or housing even harder. Laws that criminalize poverty don't solve it. They only guarantee it persists, creating a revolving door of punishment for the most vulnerable. Even when a helping hand is offered, the taxman might be lurking. The tax trap. Student loan forgivenesses, hidden sting for millions drowning in student loan debt. The dream of forgiveness feels like a lifeline. But in a cruel twist, some states treat forgiven student loan debt as taxable income. This means that after finally escaping years of crushing payments, people are suddenly hit with an unexpected, often massive, bill from the taxman. For countless individuals, this means owing thousands in taxes they simply cannot afford to pay. Instead of a fresh start, it becomes another round of financial ruin. It's a profound irony. A law explicitly designed to help becomes a devastating trap when the tax code punishes the very act of financial relief, leaving dreams shattered and new debts incurred. But the system's reach extends even to the fundamental right to participate in democracy. The silent majority, felony disenfranchisements, political impact across the nation. Millions lose the right to vote because of a felony conviction, even long after serving their full sentence. This law strips away one of the most basic civic rights that should be automatic for every citizen. The consequence is staggering. Entire communities lose their political power. When large numbers of residents are unable to cast a ballot, without a voice, policies rarely reflect their needs or concerns, fueling cycles of neglect and deep-seated inequality. Reports suggest that historically, such laws have been utilized to suppress specific populations, cementing cycles of dependency and limiting true societal representation. Voting should never be a privilege reserved for the few. It is a cornerstone of a just society. And finally, a look at laws that criminalize desperation itself. The criminalization of compassion. Anti-panhandling ordinances in towns and cities nationwide. What seems like a simple act of desperation, asking for spare change, has been made illegal through anti-panhandling ordinances. These laws push people already on the edge, deeper into desperation. A citation or a fine for panhandling can quickly escalate to arrest when individuals cannot pay. These criminal records then follow them for life, slamming shut doors that might otherwise help them get back on their feet, like job opportunities or access to housing. Critics argue that criminalizing compassion under the guise of clean streets only serves to marginalize vulnerable populations further, ensuring that poverty becomes a permanent criminal status. These aren't just minor rules. They're instruments of profound, silent damage, unmasking the small laws with big consequences. These 9 laws might appear insignificant on paper, but they carry devastating real-life weight. Each one quietly drains communities of opportunity, freedom, and dignity, often masquerading as minor rules designed to maintain order. The damage they inflict, ruined credit, fractured families, lost futures rarely makes headlines, but it is deeply felt by thousands of individuals every single year. These laws, many of which have faced constitutional challenges, often highlight a system that, according to some reports, seems designed to keep individuals trapped in cycles of poverty and punishment rather than offering genuine rehabilitation. Real change starts with awareness and a collective willingness to question what laws truly protect, and what laws simply perpetuate suffering. What small law in your community do you believe needs to be exposed and changed? Share your thoughts and stories below. Your voice can be the start of real change.